If you're anything like me, and for your sake I hope you're not, when you're not on a ship, you want to watch people who are, or at least people talking about it. Anyway, here's 10 of the best cruise tubers that I really enjoy. One of my 10 is TravelBlogJamie. Well, Jamie is the opposite of you know and you know. The ones that made a big song and dance about being asked not to keep filming people on MSC. I did used to like them, but now I hate them. Jamie, well, at first I just hated him. I didn't like his stuff, I didn't like his attitude, I didn't like his stupid little face. But, having watched every other cruise tuber to death, and still being weeks away from the water myself, I was left with the choice of watch Jamie, or don't watch anything cruise related at all. And they both seemed like horrible options at the time, but I went with watch Jamie. Reasonably quickly I wondered to myself, what'd been my funkin' problem? He's generally sweet, he's amusing, most importantly he's busy, and he also has the occasional catty comment to make about other cruise tubers. What more could you want? And you know what? He's got a lovely little face. You should watch his channel. 2 of my 10 is FraserAtSea. Fraser is an absolute little cutie, and if I was going to rank these YouTubers in order of who is my favourite, then he would be in with a real chance of taking the top spot. I first discovered his videos when he was doing 10 months, I think it was, ship hopping, where he went from one ship to another to another to another. A particularly enjoyable series of videos covers his frustrations and exasperations dealing with a disastrous crew aboard MSC. Like all cruises on MSC. He's got a very naturalistic style and like most cruise tubers does a lot of talking to the camera. He's Scottish and he's got a bit of late night radio host to his voice, and even when he's being critical it's always quite measured and positive. He's a glass half full kind of guy. I've got absolutely no interest in river cruising, but I still watch his series on the topic anyway. I honestly think I would watch a video of him reading aloud from the dictionary. He's just enjoyable company. Fortunately, he's mainly a proper cruises guy. You should watch his channel. 3 of my 10 is CruisingAsCrew. Lucy from CruisingAsCrew is a bit more of a unique angle than most, as she started her channel whilst CruisingAsCrew. Whilst the channel started as a real-time vlog from the ships and advice for people wanting to get into working on board, she's no longer working on the water. The channel's still going strong and now focuses more on commentating on the industry more generally, sometimes cruising herself and giving her reactions to other people's YouTube videos or cruise news. If you're thinking about getting into working at sea, this is one of the better channels to follow and watch it from the start. You should watch her channel. 4 of my 10 is the Doddles. They've actually just changed their channel name to Travels with David and Mark, but I will be calling them the Doddles forever because they are not the boss of me. These guys are newer to the scene than many, and after I stumbled across them I took a quick look through their older videos and that revealed that they started as a cocktail channel and then they pivoted to a cruise channel after an anniversary trip on Virgin Voyages. Their names are David and Mark, but I don't actually know which one's which. The one with the glasses on is the grown up and the one without is the one that obviously needs supervision. They're a couple, but they're an extreme example of birds of a feather flock together because they really look like they could be brothers. At the very least, an Amdram version of Clark Kent and Superman. They've got a really on the hoof filming style and they don't seem too rehearsed. You get the impression that they're just speaking off the top of their heads and giving honest opinions. I don't know how true that is, but it is good to watch. Like everyone who really likes Virgin Voyages, got a slightly irritating habit of talking about every other ship like it's inferior somehow, but I guess that's better than artificial positivity for clicks. Whatever, you should watch their channel. 5 of 10, TomandDomTravel. Ant and Deck do the decent thing and make sure that they always appear in the right order. Tom and Dom don't do that, so you'll have to remember that Tom has hair and Dom is the baldy. When they talk into camera, it can seem a bit like they're reading an auto cue or perhaps have done a few rehearsals, but they speak clearly and deliberately, they don't rush and they make sure they cover everything that they wanted to say. One of the main things that I take away from their videos is wondering how they aren't the size of a house, especially Dom, who always seems to be loading up at the late night buffet. But they're both pretty trim. Could be the onboard gym, could be a tapeworm, I really don't know. They're from Wales, so maybe all those hills and fresh air. Anyway, they're a likeable couple, they're enjoyable on screen, and they knock out weekly videos that help me cope with being on land between my own cruises. You should watch this channel. Right then, 6 of 10, Paul and Carol love to travel. Another duo, but this time easier to tell apart, because Carol's got longer hair. a slightly Beverly Hillbillies vibe, but I think that comes more from their Gloucestershire accents than anything else, because they're always neat and tidy. These guys are a little bit older than some of the cruise tubers on this list. They're proper grown-ups with a bit of a mum and dad persona. Particularly Paul, who is a full-on dad joke enthusiast, but mainly in a cute way rather than an annoying way. They do some jaunts further afield on longer cruises, which gives a bit of variety to my CruiseTube feed, and I'll often end up watching their live streams back a few times as sort of white noise while I'm doing other things. If you look out for it, just occasionally, you'll catch them looking at each other the way that I look at red sweets with white inside. You should watch this channel. 7 of my 10 is EmmaCruises. Now Emma's one of the most popular and well-known cruise tubers. She started the channel by accident after setting up a cheeky website when she was mind blown by Cunard sailing after her childhood cruising with NCL. Her content's very methodical, thoughtful and deliberate, and while she sometimes seems to have a "don't upset the cruise line" in the back of her mind, her stuff never feels disingenuous. She vlogs a range of merchandise, including kids' books based on the idea of her cat going on cruises. She's part owner of the Cruise Maps company, and she has raised loads of money for charity, shaving off her own hair and selling soft toys based on said cat. Now also a dog who's joined the team. She's known and respected by cruise lines to the point that she gets press invitations. She's been given gigs making content for NCL for their own YouTube channel and treated to suites by MSC. She sometimes gives insights into cruising with kids and parents and siblings and partners. I wouldn't say Emma's corporate exactly, but she's a bit serious and grown up. Professional, I suppose. You should watch this channel. 8 of my 10. Midlife cruising. Okay, this one is a slightly left field choice. Steve and Angela are a couple cruise tubing live from a residential cruise ship called Villa V Odyssey. They are absolutely fascinating to watch. Firstly, because most of us are incredibly skeptical about the possibility of this ship even surviving, and secondly, because they've got a real brainwashed cult member aura, which they really signpost every video when they stare into the camera and your soul and say, "Come join us," in the style of the serpent from the Jungle Book. Honestly, it is so hypnotizing that I've spent many an hour browsing the Villa V website. They have certainly had their detractors, though I sort of hope that they don't know that. They seem like quite a gentle couple, doing that thing that people like me hate, living their best life. So I hope they have as good a time as possible for as long as it may last. You should watch this channel. 9 of my 10, the CruiseMonkeys. These guys are the second entry from Wales. They're now about 10 years and 40 or so cruises in. Like our other Welsh duo, there's normally one hairy and one baldy. I've picked a bad video because we've got one hairy and one fuzzy in this one. I think one of them's called Luke, I'm not 100%. Baldy tends to do 95% of the talking, and he's frequently sort of staggering merrily around the ship. His partner, I want to say Gareth, is far more camera shy. Does chip in now and then, but the majority of his time on screen is him sort of looking up at the camera with a coy smile like Princess Diana. They're not out there dropping truth bombs, but they're a sweet couple, they're enjoyable to watch, and I like them. You should watch this channel. 10 out of my 10 is SuiteNatured, another set of proper grown-ups. These guys have been cruise tubing for about 3 years. Their channel identifies them as Lindsay and Mark, but I think most people would say Mark and Lindsay, because the general format is Mark makes a statement or asks a question, Lindsay giggles and then reacts. They release weekly videos, which helps me stay sane when I'm on land, and they're the YouTube equivalent of a lovely hot chocolate. I'm not sure exactly where they're from, but based on the accents I'm going to say somewhere in the generic north. You should watch this channel. 11 out of 10 is Queen of the Seas. Obviously, 11 out of 10 is the gratuity, so technically you can choose to remove it, but as we all know, only dreadful people queue up by the purser's desk to do that. Like Lucy from CruisingAsCrew, Joanne from Queen of the Seas worked on ships and is now back on land. She's very new, not as new as me, and at time of writing she's got just over 100 subscribers. The videos aren't highly edited or rehearsed, and she often has mini rambles and sometimes repeats points, but she's a young woman, a bit Bond girlish with a soft voice, so now and then when a big deep laugh slips out it can be quite a shock. So far her videos are largely short anecdotes about life below deck. She's low-key charming and you should watch this channel. So, there you have it. 10 plus gratuity. Some you'll know, some you didn't. Go and watch them. I'll be back next week with 10 things that every first-time cruiser needs to know. Until then, Cruisetubers that I love, done.